Well, hello. Come on up and have a seat. I promised you that when these Manfred Hortig pipes got here, I would show them off to you. So that is what I am fixing to do right now. Do you like that turn of speech? I'm fixing to. Looky here. This dandy little baby has been roughed on both sides. A pretty gray acrylic stem. That's just about a tiger pipe right there, is what that is. It's nice. Nice long shank. Ooh. Now look at that. This has a couple of really interesting design elements. You'll notice the lateral slant there. On the back, it's not. It's vertical. And it gives you this effect. And that grain is just lovely. My poor little camera's going in and out of focus. It's doing its level best. The poor thing. There are times that I do my best and don't quite measure up. It's not the same for you, I'm sure. It's a beetle, a scarab pipe. Now, this is the only figural pipe of this batch, and little coleoptera action happening there. Also, nice long shank and then stem, and the color match is really lovely. It's closer in person than it is by a phone. Of course, the phone is only the next best thing to being there. Sometimes it's better than being there. There are times I'd rather it just didn't be at all. Look at this. Oh, that is a lovely, lovely little pipe. And this is round. It might appear to be triangular or something in the picture, but it's not. It's round. The bow reminds me of brandy glass, but that is not what I would call that shape, because there's a shape called a brandy glass. It reminds me of a brandy glass, but a brandy glass. This one, when I opened the box, this was the first one that came out, and I confessed to opening the box. What was it, yesterday? not too long after it arrived. That is a mortar pipe. That is Brandenburger Eichholz. Yes. Good old Prussian mortar. From the swamps and the damps and the bogs. This one. I'm just going to set him down there. Oh, it's a sitter. Isn't that lovely? Yes. And there's surface treatments that I have never seen anyone else do. Perhaps you have. I do it new. And it's faceted. Just beautifully. Seriously, this, you look and you think, well, that's kind of lumpy maybe, but it's not lumpy at all once you're up on it. And I hope that you'll get the chance to kind of get up on it. You'll have to hurry. Probably not going to be on the shelf long, and really at all. So, my friend Manfred, when he sends 10 pipes to the store, he always sends an extra one for me, which is just entirely lovely, isn't it? Well, this, oh my gosh, that's maybe just a little elven. That might be its best descriptor. Ah, that's lovely. Always sends along an extra pipe for me. And at this point, I don't know which one is going to be the 11th. But it could be this one. Because that, honest to goodness, the grain, the shape, the bowl size, the way you wear your hat. It's kind of my style. I really like that one. So it might be that one. But it might not. Do you see the grain happening there? And look at that shape. Look at that shape. Just look at it. This is not a vent of any sort. It is a pipe tool, a brass pin that looks rather like a thistle. which might be appealing to some of us. Some of us from Clan McTiger. That is really lovely, lovely, lovely. And that's no lie. So it could be that one. I don't know. I haven't decided. Nor have I decided what I shall do with it. Although I'm pretty close to a out-and-out decision. Hey, it's a reverse plateau. Or as I like to call it, the Australian model. Its orientation is antipodal. I don't think we should say antipodal, do you? I think it's antipodal. Which means pertaining to the antipodes. And did I save this one for last? Oh, I might have saved this one for last. You're not really seeing that grain, boy. I wish you would. That is really, really lovely. Okay. All of these are going to be on display at our museum, or whatever you might call it. You might call it one thing or another. You might call it a den of iniquity, the tavern of ruin. Well, that's a rather Sufi thing to call it. We're no Sufis. It's not a slam on anybody, it's just not us, that's all. And, not a slam on anybody. So, I probably want to tell you a story, because you've been so nice to look at all these exciting new pipes. So here's a story. Did you know that I have a brother? I do. And my brother is not quite as tall, not quite so good looking, but able to lift a bus all by himself. He has certain advantages. I'm not quite sure what I had done to irritate him this time, but while I was asleep, he pulled a practical joke on me. We always shared the same room growing up. We were a year and 10 months apart, so close in age and always close. You didn't see one of us without the other for the longest time, I guess, till I hit high school. Although, you know, I still went to watch his Little League football games. It's my brother. Proud of him. Most days. And he decided he would play a practical joke while I was asleep. And so I wake up the next morning and I discover that I'm blind. Now you're thinking to yourself, this is a heck of a joke. I decide first, don't panic. Many people throughout history have been blind. It's not the end of the world, old boy. And so I carefully got out of bed and guided myself by means of the edge of the bed to close enough to the door to just kind of take a couple of steps and open the bedroom door, and then a couple of steps, turn left, a couple of steps, turn right, a couple of steps, turn left. There's the bathroom. Okay, I'm there. And the sink is just inside the door. And so I turn on. You could have done this too if if it were at your house, you'd be familiar enough to do this with the layout of the house. And I turned on the cold water and put my hands under it, got them good and wet, and I put my hands up to my face to wash, and I felt, a dreadful crustiness, and I thought, well, that's my eyeballs, and then I noticed, wait a minute, it's kind of peeling up at the edge here, and so I pull it off, this crust that had formed over my eye, and I pull off the other one, and I look at them. He had scotch taped my eyes closed while I was asleep. Of course, you know, this means war. I waited, best served cold, and I got up a little earlier than he one fine school day. We're both in high school at this point. I unplugged the television, I unplugged the radio, and I go in the kitchen and I pour myself a big cup of coffee, and I sit down at the kitchen table in my boxers. And our parents are gone, our little sister's gone. It's just the two of us in the house. And he comes into the kitchen, just a few sips into coffee, and he says, "Why aren't you dressed? We're going to be late for school." And I said, "Oh, man, I hoped you'd sleep through it." He said, "What?" I said, "There's no easy way to tell you this. Before the TV went off the air, they said the missiles were on the way. We lived next to Oak Ridge, home of the atomic bomb, and grew up knowing this true saying: you'll see the flash, but you'll never hear the bang." That is a hell of a thing for any child to grow up knowing. Well, and he walks over to the radio and there's nothing, and he goes to the TV and there's nothing, and I can see him start to lose his cool. And I said, gotcha. And we got ready for school and we went to school. Practical jokes. My mother was like the queen of jump scares. She was just great at it. And things just kept escalating. Now, my father told us, I don't like practical jokes. I don't want to be in on this. You leave me out, or there'll be consequences. Okay. I had nearly run into consequences quite accidentally earlier in my life, and knew that I did not wish to frighten so good and kind a man as my father. My mother, oh boy, she loved playing practical jokes. Until the day I brought all of the practical jokes to an end. She was working at the S.B. Newman Printing Company downtown in Knoxville. At the time, she was a typesetter. Now, this was in the early days of computer typesetting. She gained a valuable skill for the time, and was doing well with it. I'm proud of her. Still proud of her. So I call and I ask to speak to Mrs. Turner. And yeah, I'm in high school at the time, but I sound like this because I pretty well always have. And she said, hello. And I said, Mrs. Turner, this is Sergeant Brown with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. And the reaction I got proved to me that perhaps this one was maybe a little over the top. The moral of the story is, kids, don't call your mother pretending to be the police, because that's never them calling to say, hey, your kid won a wonderful prize. No, don't frighten your mom that way. It's really not nice. But it did bring a stop to the practical jokes, I think. Well, that's probably enough episode. You'd probably like to go to sleep. I'm going to send out some photos of these pipes to a friend of mine. I'll see you around.